I'm back again the next morning. I got called into work at 5 a.m. and then surprisingly, I was let go, not like fired, but like just they said I could go at about 7:30. Goodness. So since I'm up, I thought I would come check out the garden in the more favorable morning light. And I'm really surprised at how different these tulips look when they're closed. I just videoed these yesterday and they were like this obnoxious red with, remember the inside is like dark with a yellow line. Anyway, these are all the same flowers. These were like orange, but I did say that they looked pink on the outside. And so with them being all closed up, they look much more pink. And then these down here, I remember showing you guys this clump, which had the red frilly outline, just like those did. But if we keep moving this way, there's two more clumps of tulips back here. And I don't even remember seeing those or showing them to you guys yesterday. So either I'm thinking that maybe the little bulbs were looking like this, and so I just didn't bother showing them to you, and now they're starting to open. Not sure, but it looks like they're going to be like the pinkish orange ones down there rather than the red ones. So that's what we've got going on here and here. I didn't get a close-up of this yesterday, but these are the purple salvia that I have planted in this area. You can see that they're starting to bloom. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess 6 of them. I can see what I believe is coneflower popping up over here and there and there. I think this is another coneflower. These are my Stand By Me blue clematis. There's a couple of them at least. I had 4, but I transplanted them 2 or 3 times because I just could not make up my mind where I wanted them to be. And I still am not really happy with where they are. They're very pretty, but the flowers point down. And so initially I had them on this lower terrace. And then I thought, well, with the flowers pointing down, maybe they would look better on the second terrace so that people could see them better from the sidewalk. But the problem is they're not super showy. And I feel like you have to have kind of an up-close view. So what would really be ideal is like an eye level, but close by as you're walking by kind of thing. And I don't really have that anywhere except for maybe like right over here where I do my 4 o'clock bed. This one. You could literally walk by and they would be right at kind of almost eye level right here. But I'm doing 4 o'clocks again there this year, so I'm just leaving the Stand By Me's where they're at. And maybe I'll move them next year. Or not. We'll see. Looks like I have some more tulips in this area that look like they were bit off by deer, I'm guessing, because their leaves are just very choppy. If you can see right there. And then right there. So I don't know if those will bloom for us or not, but just a reminder, this is the reason why I'm planning to move the tulips out of this terrace garden, because they are pretty likely to get eaten if I don't. I also plan to move out the hyacinth, like I mentioned yesterday, just because I don't really care for those pink and purple ones. I'm gonna leave the white ones, and I'm planning to buy more white ones and add the white. I like the scent of them. They smell nice. Actually looked up to see if there was any native hyacinths in our area, and there is a native hyacinth, and I actually think I like the shape of it better than these. It appears to be taller and more, how do I put it? Just not as bulky. They're kind of like a thinner look to them, a more ethereal look, maybe that's a good way to term it. And it's kind of like a soft bluish light purple. So they're not super showy, but they are our native type of hyacinth. So I want to try to get some of those. My only concern is that I'm not sure if deer will eat them or not. That's the problem about trying to do a lot of native plants, is that the deer eat a lot of native plants. So I kind of have to use what I can in this terrace since it's so exposed, as well as in the upper area of my yard. So today I'm going to work on getting the leaves pulled out of this bed and the leaves out of this astilbe bed, and then I have to finish this side of the rose bed. Yesterday I had chopped down half of this hedge, and I'm going to continue going until I chop down the rest of it. It grows really fast, and I've never liked this hedge, but it's going to be really a pain to remove it, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that in years going forward. That's a future me problem. I also need to finish cleaning up all of this area, which is my tomatoes from last year. I'm not planning to redo that again this year. I'm just going to kind of leave this area blank, I think. I might add more roses to it. But eventually, once I'm back in the house, the roses are all getting moved to the back area that will be re-fenced in. In fact, why don't I take you back there? We haven't been back that way in a while. This is my fence debris from where the people left it last year. Here's my black lace elderberry, which I need to trim. I think I'm going to cut this branch maybe back quite a bit. I'm trying to keep this kind of like flattish and have it grow up taller. The idea was to create kind of a somewhat of a screen on this side of our porch, but I like that the black lace elderberry is a little bit see-through as well, so it's not a complete, blocking of things off, but still provides a little bit of privacy. And then it just kind of helps disguise this. I know this looks totally trashy. Again, this is just how it was left after the tree fell in our house, and I'm not moving all that. Like, that's part of the rebuilding process, and I'm letting them do it. So that's why it looks so bad back here. So this is all of the kind of devastation that happened in my backyard. Look, siding falling off. This is where my bog garden used to be. If you guys look back at my old videos, my bog garden started over here, and then it ran down this way like a river, and then it circled around, and there was kind of like a bigger little, almost like a little mini pond area. And there is a liner in there because it used to be an actual literal pond with a waterfall on this end. And so the liner is there, and it helped it to drain slowly, but it got completely destroyed, along with my patio and my deck and all of this stuff. So what the bright side is, though, is that you see this deck, like all of this area here basically ran all the way to the back There was a gate right here, and then you would walk out to our driveway. And what I am doing is we're going to reclaim all of this area as yard. This is going to be the back of the house now, and instead of rebuilding this part here the way it was, the back of the house will continue to run that way. So all of this area is going to become new backyard space. I mean, I know that already was, but I'm not planning on redoing all of this patio pavement. So we're going to actually get a lot more usable yard area once things are rebuilt. And then I don't know exactly how the fence line is going to work over here, because we might have to have this area torn up as well. But I'm hoping to have the fence go back as far, maybe as the garage, and just cut over like this. I'd like it to cut straight over, and then, I don't know, ending somewhere around in this area, because our new sidewalk is going to actually come up this way. It's going to be right along here. So the new sidewalk will run like right here, and then from here over is where the expansion on the house will be. And then where the back is right here, that's the new back of the house. So it'll be like from here to like here, I think, because it's going to come out by about 12 or 13 feet from where the existing wall is. And that's going to add the dining room in the front. And then there's going to be a walkway out to the outside. And then the kitchen will be right here. So, like I said, the new sidewalk will be going up along this way. And then somehow linking back up around to the driveway. So, not exactly sure how the fence will work, but I'm hoping it will come all the way across and then run along and link up with the new back of the house, which will be like in this area. So, long story short, a lot more fenced in yard area that I can protect from the deer. Oh, speaking of deer, let's take a walk through their favorite place to sleep, according to my neighbors. My neighbors love to tell me about how the deer come through here while I'm gone and eat on stuff, and then there'll be like a whole herd of them just kind of sleeping and hanging out in this area. But I noticed this last time I was over here, and I forgot to get it on video. This was one of my arborvitaes that was just fine before winter, and I can't say exactly what happened here, but I feel certain that it's deer related. And I have been told that they do eat this kind of arborvitae, not the green giant. They don't like that one apparently, but this kind, which I think is the North Pole, they do like this kind. And I have occasionally seen like a chomp, you know, out of one side. And then I'm always like, great, I've got holes in my arborvitaes, but I just hope that they'll grow back and look okay. But now seeing the damage that they did to that one, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna, like, I'll probably just leave these two, since I already have them, but I want to replace with things that are more deer resistant. Like this one right here is a different type. I forget the name of it, but some sort of blue point juniper or something like that. It's a little more like spiky to the touch. I've got one here and one down at that end. So they've never messed with those. I also have, let's go down here and find it. This one, I think, is called Blue Moon, and I really like the silvery blue color of this. But this one's going to get like, I think it's like 8 feet wide around the base and maybe 10 feet tall or so. And I want more skinny type things. Oh, this is the same as that one on the far end that I was pointing out to you. So anyway, I'm looking at maybe like Thin Man arborvitaes or other types of arbs that deer just aren't as into, to kind of help fill out this hedge wall. And I'm also still debating about it because now that the fence is going to be coming out so far, and remember this was like the meadow area that I wanted to make, and I also was going to include some of this down here, but now that that area is going to be fenced in, I don't actually have much more than this space. Like what we can see on this raised terrace up here, this is basically mostly all the space I'm going to have, because the sidewalk is going to come right down here next to this tree, and in between where the new house will be and the new fence will be like right there. So I don't know how much I want to add that's going to grow thick on this side, because then that's even taking away more from the little meadow effect that I wanted to have. So I might not actually add that much more to this hedge. I might leave it kind of open and then just have the meadow plants coming through here. We'll just have to see how it plays out as time goes on. I really need to get on trimming back my hydrangeas. I see that they're starting to leaf out and I haven't cut them back yet. So, put the camera down and start working. Talk to you guys later.